Turbo dipped further alongside Bitcoin, but Casper is holding quite steady. Let's have a look what this is all about. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Turbo Kaspa & Co show. We're looking at Turbo right now. As you can see, in the last episode, we've been up here. So at this very point in time, this candle has been green, and I told you, if we manage to close above the blue moving average, this might be the signal for further upside. Otherwise, we should expect further downside. This is exactly what we've got. As you can see, we are attempting to pump here as after the daily close, which is around 37 minutes ago at the time of recording. But at this point in time, this pretty much doesn't mean anything. As you can see, actually, this might be a bearish retest if we are not in for a bigger pump here. And this could then bring us down even more to our primary bearish target at the golden EMA here and this support cluster. I already told you in the last episodes that Turbo has this pattern that mostly plays out, which is that after we've got a daily candle close below the blue moving average, most of the times, not every time of course, but most of the times we visit the golden EMA. And this is, as I just said, still the primary target here. So we might dip a little further here from current prices. This would be another, let me measure this out. This would be another minus 20%. Sounds like a lot for Turbo. This is peanuts. Pretty much in the big picture here. Because as you can see here, for example, this is a minus 35%, but after that we got a 160+%. So this is not too worrisome. This is of course also fueled by Bitcoin, just as we speak, because Bitcoin had a little bit of a dip here, quite interestingly, and I've had a poll in my community tab here on YouTube just yesterday. Most of the people actually expected us to dip first, which actually happened, or us having a sideways phase rather than just propelling through the 100K mark immediately. And actually, if we zoom in here, you can see our highest price point, our current all-time high, is sitting at $99,662.22. So just below the 100K mark. And from that point on, we've started to dump a little more. Currently, this is like minus 7%, not too extreme. The usual dump or dip during uptrends, the cycle, during this bull cycle, has been around 20%, 25% at best, or at worst, well, however you want to put it. Now, is that already it? Because of course we have to look at Bitcoin, because this is important for all of crypto, for Kaspa, Turbo, and every other coin out there. Right now, I think we might go to my signal level here. This would be pretty much a flat $90,000. This would mean from the top a like minus 10%. And from that point on, we have pretty much two possibilities. Of course, this is speculation, but we are planning for every scenario. And one scenario would be, of course, that we pretty much go down to the 90K mark and then start to range a little. This could be a V-shape, of course. With how things are going, this is, of course, a possibility, because we're starting as well to look into the alt season. Don't forget, as you can see, this might be the top here. So this looks very possible for a Bitcoin dominance top, which would mean the start of the alt season, which we're all waiting for, which would be the greatest time of this bull cycle, of every bull cycle, quite frankly. So in that case, it actually wouldn't be too bad if we get some ranging here, because during that time, money will flow even more into altcoins, possibly. The question is, when will altcoins start to really move up higher, start their superpower for uptrends, and during which time of this dip will altcoins follow down? So this is actually the thing that nobody's able to pinpoint exactly. So we pretty much have to monitor crypto really, really close these days, because it really makes a difference. So if Bitcoin dips further, meaning it'll do a minus 20%, which is the, as I said, the usual sized dip here, or the usual sized full dip, this would, in my opinion, still drag down altcoins with it at first. And as soon as it starts to range a little, then we might see nice action in the altcoin market in general. So let's see if 90K holds. Let's see if we get some ranging here immediately, or if we get the dip first and then some ranging. In either case, of course, if you're just back holding your coins, it doesn't matter for you, just hold steady. If you are still looking to buy into altcoins and you don't have any altcoins yet, then of course start to DCA right now, but you don't have too much time, in my personal opinion. So this is not financial advice, but alt season is approaching quite fast here. And if you don't have any bags, then you should start to buy right now. Once again, this is not financial advice, but I would buy right now and then scale it even more if we get a bigger size dip here across all of altcoins and Bitcoin. Because if we start to see the real action, then you will get FOMO quite fast. And most of the people then don't act accordingly. They don't realize that this is pretty much buy high, sell higher season, and they wait for the next dip, and then it's already 3x, and so on and so forth. You know the drill. So for Casper here, I already teased it. What's pretty nice to see here is that Casper is pretty much doing nothing. So Casper doesn't really care about the dumps and pumps. Casper is just going sideways here, just above this curve I've talked about so often. Let me just zoom out here, because last time in the comment section somebody told me, well, what does this curve even matter? It's just arbitrarily drawn here on the chart. My friend, this is not arbitrarily drawn here on the chart. This is pretty much connecting all of the low points here of Casper till the very beginning. And as you can see, this is basically a little bit of a fake out here that we've got. Nothing too worrisome. This was during the KRC20 token launch, where we had some reshuffling, in my opinion, between Kaspa and the KRC20 tokens. Some people wanted to make even more Kaspa out of it, which is fine, of course. And during this uptrend again, we've established above the curve again, which is just beautiful, in my opinion. And as soon as alt season starts, I am sure that we'll get the next push for Casper as well, with hopefully fresh capital coming in, which is also a very important factor for this, in my humble opinion, which I elaborated on prior episodes in more depth. Now, before I continue, please make sure to subscribe to my channel right now. It really helps the channel grow. And quite frankly, what is wrong with you if you don't subscribe? Because you will miss out on future videos, and you don't want that in that super heated up phase of the bull market and right before the alt season. Now, the first coin I want to look here, the first meme coin, is bread. And why is that? Well, in the last episode, I told you this is one of the most beautiful setups we have right now, because we are beautifully accumulating here, consolidating here above that super important signal here that was printed by my field prints reversal bands. And there is actually another signal here. So this is a very strong zone, and we only have wicks below it. And I think this is a beautiful scenario to pump up from here. And as you can see, Brett pretty much doesn't care about the current dip all over crypto. I do think there is a reason for that, which is that Brett is very whale driven. I once looked into the on-chain data of Brett, and it's pretty much all whales. So they don't allow it to really dip. And as you can see, it still starts to pump here. Of course, the picture changes if we get a daily close below this support cluster, but until further notice, I think this is the start of the next big rally. Gonna say it, this is the old all-time high. As soon as we will break above this, close above this, this will propel higher. So the whales are doing it. Of course, there's also the possibility of whales dumping at some point, but as you can see, it holds up very steady. This is just a hell of a cabal here. And we have higher lows all over, just from the chart, it looked good. Do keep in mind, on chain, it's mainly whales, so they can do whatever they want. So still, I'm not saying this is a shitcoin, because Brett, the full name is Based Brett. This is the biggest meme coin on the Base chain, and the Base chain was built by Coinbase, which is the biggest exchange in the US. So no, this is of course not a shitcoin, and usually the #1 memes on a specific blockchain do perform very well. This is a great narrative in and of itself, but still keep in mind the stuff about the whales and so on. Now, as I've said in prior episodes, you can hit me up and down in the comment section with meme coins that we will look at in the next episodes. And this time around, I have 3 more picks that were suggested by subscribers. The first one is Chillguy, which is pretty hyped up at the very moment. And if you look at the chart, it actually looks beautiful. I just have to say it. Look at that. Higher lows all over, even higher and higher here. We were quite some time here at all-time highs. Had this, you could say this is a cup and handle if you'd like patterns. So this is already starting to pump again. And if we manage to get here above this cluster of all-time highs, actually we are testing this so many times. So this just wants to go higher in my opinion, just looking at the chart, of course. As soon as we break above that, this will rally, in my opinion. So we're currently sitting at $424.6 million in market cap. This can do quite a movement. And to measure out the movement that is possible here, I do like to do something like this here. We just have a look at what is possible from a point of harmony, you could say. We normally have some kind of harmony in the market. So this just shows us what is possible as a first price target here. So something like that. And normally I also bring up the Fibonacci tool as well. And this gives us a first target, in my opinion, of the 2.618. This would be harmonious. This would be realistic, speaking from the price structure we've already had. So this would be around, let's say, $90 cents. At this point in time, we're sitting at $0.42, so about a 2x in the short to midterm, in my personal opinion. Now, the next project we have is pnut, which is a big darling of crypto for quite some time now. Better to say the beginning of November, had this very crazy pump. Since then we are dipping. So this was around 20x, dipped 60% approximately. And now we are hovering here. So this is the first thing you can see here. This is a little bit of a higher lows and higher highs. Now the question is this the bottom, or will we dip down further here? Pretty much this kind of thing. Of course, we don't know that. But if the community manages to keep up the hype, then this is definitely a possible bottom. But of course, we have to see here, this is strong resistance. So we have to see how price reacts here. If price tries to closely accumulate here again, form something like this, and then tries to break out. In that case, we can of course propel higher. But don't forget, of course, we're already at $1.9 billion in market cap. And for going even higher here, we've already been at the very top, let me see. We've already been at $2.45 billion in market cap. So just going to all-time highs would be a 2x. And going even higher, meaning like a 4x, would bring us to already $4 billion. And just for reference, this would pretty much be more than what Dogwith had at this point in time has. And this is ranked the 39th out of all the active cryptocurrencies here by CoinMarketCap. So this would be quite a move and would of course require the community to hold strong. So in this case here, this is less about the technical analysis, but more about the community part. Now, number 3 of meme coins that my subscribers suggested for analysis is Act 1, the AI prophecy. So this is very similar in market cap to Chillguy, But from the chart formation or price action, this is very similar to peanut. So as you can see, we've had this big pump, 30x actually, and a big dump, also minus 60% approximately. So very similar here to peanut, as I've just said. And also the price action is pretty similar. We also have here this consecutive higher lows, not too much higher, but still they are higher. Also this resistance here, not as clear as with peanut, but still. And here's the same thing. If the community is strong enough, we can propel higher here. Just by looking at the chart, this doesn't look particularly strong compared to Chillguy, which looks very strong, in my opinion, once again. Because with time, as you gain experience, you can just look at the chart and say, wow, this looks strong. And with other charts, you say, I don't know. I really don't know. Pretty much anything could happen. Or sometimes you say, ooh, this looks bad. And here with ACT and also with Peanut, I cannot really make a case. You've just seen it. It's all about the community at this point. But with Chillguy, looks fucking strong. Now, what you're gonna wanna do immediately is follow me here over on X as well. My username is philprince_11. Of course, also still subscribe here on my channel. So important. You don't want to miss out the next videos. I just cannot emphasize it enough. Until next time, crush the markets. Goodbye.